Hello everyone, I'm Steven and welcome to this video. So in today's video, what we're going to talk about is the big Bill Gates top rules for success. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you absolutely, smash that subscribe button. But usually I'll say, let's cue the intro, but we're not going to cue the intro any longer. I'm just going to get straight into the video and the big rules for success coming straight from Bill Gates, the person that should be the richest person in the world if he wasn't giving all his money away, which he's trying to do, and even then he's not managing it very well because he just has too much of it. So let's get right into it, and the very first thing is to have energy. It takes a lot to build a business. It takes a tremendous amount of energy, let alone if it's Microsoft. But, no matter what you're trying to do, if it's an affiliate business, just like I'm doing, or, whatever it may be, it takes some energy. No matter if it's online, offline, it doesn't matter. It will take you a ton of energy. You also have to do a lot, and, things will come flying at you. Adversity, people will not like you, people will complain, people will say you can't do that, or, all these different things. You just have to have the energy to actually pull through and continue to absolutely do what you want to do, what your dream is, and to absolutely achieve it. So this is Bill Gates' very first rule for success. So let's get into the second rule for success, which is working hard. Now, working hard, I see this on Instagram where people are saying that, you'll sleep when you're dead and things like that, and I don't believe in that. However, when you do work, you do have to really work hard. Like, I don't mean working like 99 hours per day in 24 hours, because, that's what people are trying to make it seem like it, but it's not like that. However, when you're actually working on something, when you're doing something, you have to go from, do everything that you wanted to do in that day, plan it ahead, and actually work hard. It does not necessarily mean that you don't have a life. Like, you do need to have a life that is, otherwise you'll burn out. You'll do, other things that will, continue, so that you can continue to crush it. That's a lot of continues, but you get the idea. You have to keep on going. So work hard, but don't overdo it. Don't go crazy, don't go mad, even though you might not have very much balance at the beginning when you're just starting out, but it cannot last a lifetime. So working hard is extremely important, but I don't believe in working 24 hours a day. So that's the very first, that's the second point that Bill Gates is absolutely, believing in, is working hard. Now, the next thing is to create the future. Creating the future is extremely important. A lot of people don't realize this, but, you have to be thinking ahead. It's just like anybody else, when Bill Gates created Microsoft, he was thinking ahead. There was nothing like Microsoft at the time, and that is why, you really have to create the future, because that is how you're going to make a bank, a few years later or months later, depending on, how hard you work, what your business is, and so on. But, thinking of the future is something very important. So don't think like of today, what might, do sort of well today. Think of what's going to explode in a month or 2 months or a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, depending on how far away. But, I said months, but that doesn't even count. You want to think years ahead. So that's one thing. Create the future. Think of things that, will be beneficial in the future. So, with that being said, let's get right into the next one. And that is enjoy what you do. A lot of people don't really enjoy what they do, but, and that's something that's also, so many people talk about this. You see that online all the time, where people are always talking about, follow your passion, do what you love and things like that. And you know, you can just like think of it, you know, like don't bother about it. However, when you're trying to do something, then you know, enjoying what you do is going to be crucial, because otherwise you're just going to burn out. If you don't, you know, if you struggle to get out of bed to actually do what you want to do, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to do it long term, and building a business is always long term. If you want to do this and, you know, make big money in the next week or, you know, 2 months, you know, that doesn't happen, that doesn't exist. So instead you want to think long term, and so you want to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, then it's going to be very hard for you to carry on long term, which is what you absolutely need to do. So with that being said, next point. Now this is a very funny one. I don't practice this, but you know, I should include this because Bill Gates has talked about this before in some interviews, and that is playing bridge. You know, it seems simple, and I have to be honest, I do not do that. However, playing bridge, you know, it makes your mind work, it makes you think a lot more, and that is something that, you know, Bill Gates is a very big fan of, and he believes that this is going to help you know, this helped him get the success that he has. So playing bridge, you know, if you're into that, you know, I'm not going to just say it because, you know, I like it. I don't play bridge, but this is something that Bill Gates believes in, and you know that, you know, there's not much more to it. That's what he said. So I'm just putting it and including it because that's what he believes in. The next point is asking for advice. Now this is a very big one because so many people, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, you always think, you know, like you've done the research, you think you know it all, and you know, ego just gets in the way basically. But asking for advice from anybody, like if Bill Gates, who's the richest person in the world, the most successful, you know, business person, you know, like in recent times, then you want to if this person is asking for advice, then that's a very big sign that you should also be asking for advice. So don't, you know, not ask because people are not as successful. Maybe they know things that you don't know. So, you know, always ask for advice, always ask what people think. This will get you to where you want to be. So asking for advice, you know, contrary to playing bridge, is something that's, you know, I believe in very much, because that will help you progress to the next level. You always have to be learning, and that's a great way to learn. So asking for advice, you know, don't forget that one. That's, you know, a very big one. Now the next one is don't procrastinate. You know, there's, you know, so many people, and you know, I was the first one to do this, is, you know, don't procrastinate. And you know, Bill Gates has a big story about this. When he was at school, he was, you know, always leaving the things to the, you know, the last minute, and you know, doing it then, and he thought he was cool. All his buddies thought he was cool, but you know, when he got into, you know, starting a business, that was a big struggle that took him a while to fix. And you know, this, you know, I'm sure you can find this interview. So make sure that you don't procrastinate. That's something that's extremely important. You know, no matter what you do, always do it as soon as possible, because that will just get it out of the way. No matter what you're trying to do, this will help a lot. So do not procrastinate. That's a huge deal. You know, I can't stress this enough. Like anybody that's successful has fixed this before, of not procrastinated. You know, I was doing this with my YouTube channel. Obviously, you know, I've said this before, that it didn't take me that long because I just wanted to get it started no matter what. So I did. But you know, I've done this on so many different occasions. So you know, if you're wanting to start a YouTube channel or an online business, don't wait until, you know, the stars align. Just do it, because that's always an excuse. Like if you don't have the right cameras, the lighting, or whatever it may be, you know, you can do this without, you know, having that big of a deal. So do not procrastinate is a huge, huge deal, because otherwise you'll never get anything done. You know, there's not much more to it, but that's extremely important. Now the next point is actually going to be, surprising to a lot of people, but this is have a sense of humor. Having a sense of humor is extremely important because, you deal with so much stress during the day. You do, all this hard work, sometimes you put in a lot more hours than a lot of people do. And, if you don't have a sense of humor, playing around, having some fun. And when I say having some fun, I don't mean like going out to some bars and drinking and, not being able to get up in the morning. But instead, what I mean by that is, just having fun, having a, joking around with your friends, with your family, no matter who's around you. Maybe it's your co-workers, and that can be a huge deal. And that's something that Bill Gates talks about. So if you think that you do not have time to joke around, then, think about the most successful person in the world. He has a sense of humor, and he thinks that this is, a big rule for success. So with that being said, this was my video for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you absolutely smash that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell, so that way you get notified every single time I put a video out, which is every single day. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.